Come, Jane, you shall take a walk, and with me.
Okay.
Let us rest here. Jane, I go in 6 weeks. I have taken my berth in an East Indiaman which sails on the 20th of June.
God will protect you, for you have undertaken his work.
Yes, there is my glory and joy. I am the servant of an infallible master. It seems strange to me that all round me do not burn to enlist under the same banner, to join in the same enterprise.
All have not your powers, and it would be folly for the feeble to wish to march with the strong.
I do not speak to the feeble, or even think of them. I address only such as that are worthy of the work and competent to accomplish it.
Those are few in number and difficult to discover.
You say truly, but when found, it is right to stir them up, to urge and exhort them to the effort, to show them what their gifts are, and why they were given, to speak heaven's message in their ear, to offer them direct from God a place in the ranks of his chosen.
If they are really qualified for the task, will not their own hearts be the first to inform them of it?
And what does your heart say?
My heart is mute, my heart is mute!
Then I must speak for it. Jane, come with me to India. Come as my helpmeet and fellow laborer.
Oh, St. John, have some mercy!
God and nature intended you for a missionary's wife. It is not personal, but mental endowments they have given you. You are formed for labor, not for love. A missionary's wife you must, and shall be. You shall be mine. I claim you, not for my pleasure, but for my sovereign service.
I'm not fit for it. I have no vocation.
Humility, Jane, is the groundwork of Christian virtues. You say you are not fit for the work? Who is fit for it? I, for instance, am but dust and ashes. Think like me, Jane. Trust like me. Bear the weight of your human weaknesses.
I do not understand a missionary's life. I have never studied missionary labors.
There I, humble as I am, can give you the aid you want. I can set your task for hour to hour, stand by you always, help you from moment to moment. This I could do in the beginning. Soon you would be as strong and apt as myself, and not require my help.
But my powers, where are they for this undertaking? I do not feel them. Nothing speaks or stirs in me while you talk. Oh, I wish I could make you see how much my mind is in fear of being persuaded by you to attempt what I cannot accomplish.
I have an answer for you. Hear it. I have watched you ever since we first met. I have made you my study for 10 months. Jane, you are docile, diligent, disinterested, faithful, constant, and courageous. Very gentle and very heroic. Cease to mistrust yourself. I can trust you unreservedly. As a conductress of Indian schools and a helper amongst Indian women, your assistance will be to me invaluable.
I need half an hour to think.
Very willingly.
I, Jane Eyre, I can do what he wants me to do. I am focused to see and acknowledge that. But I feel mine is not the existence to be long protracted under an Indian sun. What then? The case is very plain before me. In leaving England, I shall leave a loved but empty land. Mr. Rochester is not there, and if he were, what is? What can that ever be to me? My business is to live without him now. Of course, as St. John said, I must seek another interest in life to replace the one lost. Is not the occupation he now offers me truly the most glorious man can adopt or God assign? I believe I must say yes, and yet I shudder. Alas, if I join St. John, I abandon half myself. If I go to India, I go to premature death. Oh, I know well, that too is very clear to my vision. By straining to satisfy St. John till my sinews ache, I shall satisfy them to the finest central point in the farthest outward circle of his expectations. If I do go with him, if I do make the sacrifice he urges, I will make it absolutely. He will never love me, but shall approve me. I will show him energies he has not yet seen, resources he has never suspected. Yes, I can work as hard as he can, with as little grudging. Consent, then, to his demand if possible, but for one item, one dreadful item. It is that he ask me to be his wife. Unmarried to him, this would never grieve me. But can I let him complete his calculations, coolly put into practice his plans, go through the wedding ceremony? Can I receive from him the bridal ring, endure all the forms of love, and know that the spirit was quite absent? Can I bear the consciousness that every endearment he bestows is a sacrifice made on principle? No. Such as martyrdom would be monstrous. I would never undergo it. As his sister, I might accompany him, not as his wife. I will tell him so.
I will go to India if I may go free.
Your answer requires a commentary. It is not clear.
You have hitherto been my adopted brother, I, your adopted sister. Let us continue as such. You and I had better not marry.
If you were my real sister, it would be different. But as it is, either our union must be sealed by marriage, or it cannot exist. Do you not see it, Jane? Consider it a moment. Your strong sense will guide you.
St. John, I regard you as a brother, so let us continue.
We cannot. It would not do. You have said that you will go with me to India. Remember, you have said it.
Additionally.
Well, to the main point. The departure with me from England, the cooperation with me in my future labors, you do not object. I do not want a sister. A sister might any day be taken from me. I want a wife, a sole helpmeet I can influence efficiently in life, and retain absolutely till death.
Seek one elsewhere than me, St. John. Seek one fitted to you.
One fitted to my purpose, you mean, fitted to my vocation. Again I tell you, it is not me who wants to marry, it is the missionary in me.
And I will give the missionary my energies. It is all he wants, but not myself.
You cannot, you ought not. Do you think God will be satisfied with half an oblation? Will he accept a mutilated sacrifice? It is the cause of God that I advocate. It is under his standards I enlist you. I cannot accept on his behalf a divided allegiance. It must be entire.
Oh, I will give my heart to God. You do not want it.
Do not let us forget that this is a solemn matter. I trust, Jane, you are in earnest when you say you will give your heart to God. It is all I want. You will see what impetus would be given to your efforts and mine by your physical and mental union in marriage, the only union that gives a character of permanent conformity to the destinies and designs of human beings, and passing over all minor caprices, all trivial difficulties and delicacies of feelings, all scruple about the degree, kind, strength, or tenderness of mere personal inclination. You will hasten to enter into that union at once.
Shall I?
Well?
I repeat freely, I consent to go with you as your fellow missionary, but not as your wife. I cannot marry you and become a part of you.
A part of me you must become, otherwise the whole bargain is void. How can I, a man, not yet 30, take out with me to India a girl of 19, unless she be married to me? How can we forever be together, sometimes in solitude, and be unwed?
Very well, under the circumstances, quite well as if I were either your real sister or a man and clergyman like yourself.
It is known that you are not my sister. I cannot introduce you as such. To attempt it would be to fasten injurious suspicions on us both. And for the rest, though you have a man's vigorous brain, you have a woman's heart, and it would not do.
It would do perfectly well. I have a woman's heart, but not where you are concerned. For you I only have a comrade's constancy. Nothing more, do not fear.
It is what I want, and there are obstacles in the way. They must be hewn down. Jane, you would not repent marrying me. Be certain of that. We must be married. I repeat it. There is no other way. And undoubtedly enough love would follow upon marriage to render the union right, even in your eyes.
I scorn your idea of love. I scorn the counterfeit sentiment you offer. Yes, St. John, I scorn you when you offer it.
I scarcely expected to hear that expression from you. I think I have uttered nothing to deserve scorn.
Forgive me the words, St. John, but it is your own fault that I have been roused to speak so unguardedly. You have introduced a topic on which our natures are at variance. If the reality were required, what should we do? How should we feel? My dear cousin, abandon your scheme of marriage. Forget it.
No, it is a long-cherished scheme, and only one which can secure my great end. But I shall urge you no further at present. Tomorrow I leave home for Cambridge. I shall be absent a fortnight. Take that space of time to consider my offer, and do not forget that if you reject it, it is not me you're denying, but God. Through my means, he opens you the door to a noble career. As my wife, only you can enter upon it. Refuse to be my wife, and you limit yourself forever to a track of selfish ease and barren obscurity. Tremble lest, in that case, you should be numbered with those who have denied the faith and are worse than infidels.